Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back, and we are getting into Married at First Sight Australia series 12. We are now on episode 5 and we get to see the last two couples that end up getting married. So we have a Greek guy called Tony, but let me stop right there before we get into this episode. As I always ask my renegades, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so you know I'm doing videos. Please comment, like, share and do the good things that you do, because I continue to be on the road to 1k. Alright, as I've already mentioned, we had a Greek guy called Tony, and it looks like he's been living on his own for quite a while and things have never really changed, because he continues to live in his parents' home and they have both passed as well. So he was married before when he was about 20 years old. He wishes to have a relationship or a marriage in the way that his parents had, because they were together for life basically. But I would like to say in that regard, what does he believe their relationship taught him at the end of the day? Because yes, we can look at the longevity of parents, grandparents, all of that, all of them being together for so long, and that's the kind of love that people want to aspire to or strive to, but don't realise that, you know what, it's hard. It's a hard, long slog to get to that far in a relationship without its ups and its downs. Okay, so we believe that Tony may have met his match in a woman called Morena, who is a fitness instructor and she's a DJ. She actually looked quite good, to be fair, for her age. She is that little bit older than Tony, because I believe that Tony is 53 and Morena is 57, who she has two older children of her own, one of them who does have a lot of needs as well, and she's got to a point where she literally built him his own place, his own home on her land. So she does for her children and she does for herself, because basically she was also married for 29 years. And basically she was told every day, she said that, you know, her life would be nothing without this person in it. But she managed to extricate herself from that and managed to actually do pretty well with herself, to be honest with you. So we have Tony and Morena. So then we get to the last couple. These two are definite perfectionists. Let's just put it that way. We all know nobody is perfect, but these two like to believe that they are. So first impression of Jacqueline, because the two that are getting married next are Jacqueline and Ryan. I know we shouldn't judge, or I shouldn't judge a book by its cover, yeah. But when she starts reading out all her accolades, when she talks about how she was a model previously, when she talks about yada yada and this, that and the other, it just comes off as very, very, very pretentious at the end of the day. She talks about how she definitely has high standards, and all I kept on thinking is, oh my god, please don't let this be the female version of freaking Elliot, because wonders will never cease if they manage to do that twice in a freaking row. Do you know what I mean? So she talked about how she was bullied in high school, and so she'd come to learn to expect a lot more of herself through that. With that arrangement, you kind of have to be careful that you don't seek this level of perfection, because you're never going to flipping get it. So when she talks about like masculine energy, and when people talk about feminine energy, I'm like, people need to explain this to me. What is this masculine energy, to be honest with you? She talks about, like, you know, she needs a man to take the lead. And I'm kind of like, again, what does that mean? Because at the end of the day, people will say these things, that they want these things, and then when they get them, they don't like them. Like, they literally do not like them. So what is it that they mean? So we meet Ryan, who on first impressions I would say was definitely full of himself. This man was talking about where have the warriors gone. He is, I will call, the male version of Jackie. He, I think, believes, like, to think he's this man of the world, and he's this like intellectual type of person. But I would say that he's very much a geek. He's very much a geek and trying to fit into spaces that he wouldn't normally fit into. That's the vibe that I'm getting from Ryan at the end of the day. So He says that he's been in a long-term relationship for 4 years prior, and he talked about within that relationship it was quite toxic, and he continued to stay because he kind of loved the toxicity of it. He felt that he needed to let go, but he didn't let go because he enjoyed that push and pull with that person. He knew it was bad for him. And I just thought, that's all I'm saying for right now. That is all I'm saying for right now. The proof is in the pudding when it comes to these two at the end of the day. Then we see Marina and Tony's wedding, and it seemed like Marina's family really did like Tony. When it came to the first look, he literally smiled, like big old smile, and said wow, basically. And I'd have to say Marina looked gorgeous. And they both liked each other, basically. It was attraction on first sight for Tony and for Marina at the end of the day. Like, even Tony saying to the officiant, like, can we get a move on? Because he was excited to marry Marina at that moment, which is a good start at the end of the day. The vows were good and heartfelt. Tony, his words were sweet. Tony does do the traditional gift giving at the wedding that his parents would have done if his parents were still there. So he ends up giving her a necklace. They all seem to get on well with each other, which is good, which is a really good thing, because usually when it comes to the first look, it ain't freaking great. And we will skip to Jackie and Ryan's freaking wedding at this point in time. So this man basically believes that he is everything. So Ryan, yeah, I would have to say at this point was actually doing my head in. He says a lot of words. He makes them all frou-frou. He makes them all, like, sentimental. And to me, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. This man really, honestly, truly thinks he's Superman. He really sees himself as a warrior. That's what he said. He identifies himself as a warrior. So that's why he keeps on saying, where is all the warriors gone? And it was kind of the same with Jackie. She was starting to do my head in too. That both of them thought they were the bee's knees. Let's just put it that way. They had an over self-inflated sense of confidence and a sense of importance. And I'm saying there's nothing wrong with being confident. There's nothing wrong with having a full bucket of self-esteem at the end of the day. But these two are kind of showing a little bit of arrogance on a grand scale. Let's just put it that way. And in Jackie's case, at the end of the day, no one is perfect, not even herself. And to strive for perfection, yeah, in my realm, you're not living in reality at the end of the day, in my opinion. So I'm kind of thinking, at this point, does Jackie even know who the frick she is at the end of the day? Or was the bullying so bad that it shaped her into the person that she is right now? And also the same for Ryan. I don't think he lives in reality either. So Ryan comes to the front and is there, like, full on complimenting the groomsmen. This man doesn't even turn around and say hello to any of the people sitting on the bride's side at all, or even say, hello, my name's Ryan. Not a damn bean does this man do. He's literally there doing his bro test with his bros. So one of the bridesmaids, which I think is Jackie's sister, turns around and says to the other bridesman, does he look brogan? I don't know what that means, but I'm thinking that it isn't something good at the end of the day. And the other one says, well, I can't see no tattoos. I just thought, oh my God, this is a disaster waiting to freaking happen. So Megan is the sister of Jackie. And she says that basically his friends look like bad news. And I was like, wow. I thought that's kind of a bit harsh, you know what I mean? Because you're literally judging them by looking at them, and they could do the same thing to her and her sister at the end of the day. You're only just meeting them today. Yes, Ryan's friends are a little bit rough and ready, and they're mouthy, and they're this, and they're a little bit leery, but that doesn't mean that they're bad people. Do you know what I mean? They're just being bullish bros at the end of the day, and being slightly immature with it, and so is Ryan too, to be fair. I mean, if you ask me, it came off a little bit snobbish. It really did. So she called them boy gang dudes and said that they're the type of guys that maybe go out drinking often. And I thought, who placed the judgment stick up this woman's arse? I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, Megan, Jackie's sister, I don't like you. I don't like you at all right now. So when it come to the first look, I'm gonna have to say, yeah, in my sweet estimations, Jackie is a very good bloody actor. Let's just put it that way. Because she was smiling like she was into this man, and she completely was not into this man at all. For starters, he wasn't blonde. It was the laughter for me after the first look, and the disappointment that she had that he was not blonde and he was not clean shaven either, which was a turn off for her. But yet this woman stood up there like he was the love of her motherfucking life. Wow, that is some damn good acting. And Ryan literally sucked that shit up. Ryan was thinking, oh my, she's on my wavelength. Because Ryan was into Jackie like no one's business. But Ryan didn't realise he wasn't picking up on the little cues or the subtle facial stuff that this woman was doing to say that actually this woman is not feeling you right about now, and you have to do something major and something big for her to feel you right about now. But Jackie was playing that actress to a hilt, man. She was playing a good one. So basically, she was saying she wanted the male version of her, and I thought, but he is the male version of Jackie at the end of the day. He said he could tell by looking in Jackie's eyes she had a genuine desire to be there. And I thought, Ryan, I suggest you look a little bit closer, because that's not what the fuck you're seeing at all. This hurt them two together. Oh my God. So Ryan thinks there's like instinctive chemistry between them, and I was sitting there watching it and I was thinking, what is he looking at that makes he believe that there's instinctive chemistry? Because my God, this girl is showing you at little parts that she's disappointed fully. I mean, this is what I mean by overinflated self of importance and the arrogance of it, yeah, that he really, well and truly cannot read the little subtle cues that are coming his way, that Jackie did not like him. But then, as I said, on the flip side, Jackie is a damn good actress. She's sighing, she's making the right sounds in all the right places, but only when she's only giving that indication only when he was doing his vows, and it was literally just about her, like calling her gorgeous, speaking on her accolades, doing X, Y, and Z, and yada yada yada. She was like, oh, and I was like, damn girl, you're trying too hard, like really trying too hard. Ryan was definitely out to impress. So now Jackie has an issue with Ryan's vows and believes that they were pre-written. I was like, vows usually are pre-written, love. She thinks that he may have an image of some other girl in his mind who is not her. And I thought, and it starts. She thinks that Ryan sounded rehearsed. And I thought, at this point, Jackie was annoying the hell out of me. I ain't gonna lie, she really was. Because again, there's no such thing as perfection. And Jackie, I shall say again, she's saying all these freaking negatives about Ryan in the video, talking to producers. But to his face, she ain't showing a damn being. That's why I said she's a damn good actress, because none of what she was saying was reflected on her face for this man to see, except for little bits, little hints, yeah, which is probably why he couldn't pick up on it, even though he should have been looking damn closely. So Ryan then thinks that Jackie loved his vows. This is gonna be a hard one with these two, yeah. Jackie basically thought that, like, you know, he was being funny. And she said that he had picked the jackpot and then listed all her pet names for herself. And I thought her bridesmaids sat there thinking these vows were fucking hilarious. The groomsmen were like, what the fuck are we sitting here listening to at the end of the day? I was like, yeah, no, Jackie, stop. It's when she turned around and she nicknamed Ryan Rai. And this girl had the audacity to complain about Ryan's vows. There was no effort in hers at all. She completely thinks that she's better than Ryan already at the end of the day. Her vows basically were a CV to herself. That's how I've seen it. There was nothing heartfelt about them. And she didn't bring Ryan into that conversation at all. Jackie is a little bit of a selfish person and thinks all of these accolades are impressive. All it did basically, for me, was show she may have turned into a little bit of a bully herself, in terms of believing that no one is good enough for her, basically, and she looks down at people from a lofty great height. That's the impression that she's giving right now. And all I would say is that she better be careful that she don't fall off that pedestal that she's placed herself on at the end of the day. All I can say is that those were the worst vows I had ever heard, and I was sincerely gobsmacked, because I sat there thinking, am I in the freaking Twilight Zone right now? Because even his friends were like, what the fuck was that? Like, seriously, what the hell was we all listening to? This is where things got from bad to worse. So when they got to the end of the wedding, usually the bride and groom hold their hands high up, then walk down the aisle. These two did not take that cue. The officiant had to tell them twice that they need to go down to the aisle. Twice these people stood there waving at their guests. Yeah, it was weird, like basically weird. So then Jackie, because she took Ryan's hand and started walking down the aisle, because I believe that Ryan didn't hear what the officiant said in any event, started complaining that she had to be the one to lead and she didn't want to lead. She wanted him to lead. And I mean, it's not like he could have led anything, basically, after being told twice, because she was the one that took his hand at the end of the day and started walking off first. So he had no choice but to follow her backside. So right now, Jackie is finding Ryan lacking. So then we get to Jackie sitting in front of the camera, talking to the producers. This woman started crying. This woman started bawling with no tears, I might add. Like, literally started crying over the petty things that she'd just raised. I thought, is this woman off her rock? Like, seriously, this whole sequence of events was absolutely freaking weird, yeah. But then when she was asked by producers how she feels moving forward and if she feels it could work, there were no tears and there was a smile, and she said yes, definitely. I was like, what the fuck was that? What? No, but what was that? That's why I said this girl's a good actress, you know. She's a good actress. So she goes back to moaning. And she's moaning about Ryan apparently not taking, as I said, the lead as for her walking down the aisle. And she akins herself to a high value woman. And basically this is why he should take the lead over both of them. Oh my god, she is the female version of fucking Elliot, man, because he classes himself as high value too. So I really don't. I really don't. Yes, she may be highly freaking accomplished, you know what I mean? But what does she actually bring besides this to a relationship and a marriage? Because without that, I don't see any redeeming qualities in this woman, nor in Ryan, to be honest with you. Ryan's just literally oblivious to everything that's going on around him. So they go out and they start taking photos. Now it's a little windy, and in Jackie's vows she had talked about how if she wants her man's coat and she asks for it, then he's to provide it for her. And Ryan was like, oh, definitely. Now it was windy, and when I say windy, it was windy to the point of it would have been cold at the end of the day, and breezy. He was in a suit jacket, she had a bloody strapless fucking wedding dress on at the end of the day. So Jackie was making all these hints about how cold she was. Do you think this man was taking these hints? She was talking about how she wished it could be warmer. Again, Ryan was not picking up on that cue that, you know, the girl wants your jacket. So she had to say to him, maybe I can wear your coat. This man chuckles, doesn't take off the jacket straight away. He does proceed to rub her arms, and I thought to myself, this is going from bad to worse. So while he's rubbing her arms, he turns around and says to this woman, oh, I hate to see a woman cold. He wants to keep her warm because he is super protective. I thought, mate, you were not doing the one thing that you said you would do. You heard it in her vows. Give her a damn ratty jacket. Like, these two are not on the same plane at all. So Ryan keeps on talking about his identity as this warrior and says that he is instinctively a protective mate. And I just thought to myself, mate, your warrior's broken. Your warrior's broken. And it's called being chivalrous at the end of the day, to provide your jacket to a wife who is in an armless, a backless freaking dress and freezing her motherfucking eye off right now. I can't even say at that point that freaking Jackie was being unreasonable this time, because she really wasn't. So Jackie had to say to him, you can give me your coat if you want to. I was like, raw. The man asked the producers or the photographer, can I give her my coat? I thought you didn't need to ask, just give her a Ross coat. Oh my God, this is not going to bode well if this man can't even read the cues of others by himself, because my God, Jackie has no patience for that bullshit. Like, she really doesn't, and she already don't like this man because he's failed at the most preferable times in regards to where she has put her, what can I say? Where she has put her furlong in terms of for him to get over. He's not even met that fucking level. He's down there somewhere, like top bottom, like bottom, basic bottom at the moment. He needs to get his ass up there and get his ass into gear. So then you see her again on talking to the producers, and again this gal is crying. She's talking about how she doesn't want to be independent anymore and single, and she wants someone to literally take the lead. I thought, what you need to do, my love, is relax your ass. But then saying that, if she relaxed her ass, Ryan is a bit too relaxed, and they won't get shit done at the end of the day. So then we get to Marina and Tony's wedding breakfast. Tony went around, as he does in his culture, greeting everybody, and he pulled out Marina's chair. He was literally a total gentleman, and they were bouncing off each other. It was good vibes all around. Then we have this man in a greyish suit. Everyone is having fun, and his face looks like a spanked arse. Let me just put it that way. I'm like, here we go. There's always one. Always one. So this person who we see is Stephen, who is Tony's cousin, and he doesn't appear to like Marina at all. This man's talking about how there needs to be chemistry and sexual attraction involved from the beginning, and he says he doesn't know if that has happened at the moment between Marina and Tony. And I'm like, dude, was you at the wedding? Was you literally at the wedding and not see how your cousin was so happy with the woman that was walking down the aisle towards him, and how he wanted to rush that wedding forward so he could get married to this girl? There's bags of chemistry between them. So this man said Tony should have been paired with someone 10 years younger than him. So Tony is 53, so he's saying that like someone in their 40s, and I'm like, mate, come on, leave your cousin alone. He's Ross happy at the end of the day. So Stephen feels that Marina is too old for Tony and she's not the right pick. I just thought, well, who came in and pissed in this man's Cheerios really well and truly? So then it flips to Jackie and Ryan's wedding breakfast, and I'm thinking, how could this match between these two get any worse? Because it will. Ryan is fully into her, and Jackie is looking for the exits, like proper looking for the exits. He really thinks that he's impressing this gal, and he ain't at all. Like, seriously isn't. So it comes to a point where when Jackie asked Ryan what dog he has, now she believes that she'll be able to get what she needs from the person from knowing what dog they have, and maybe that will be a match made in heaven. So Ryan turns around and says he has a Kelpie ex-Staffy. Her whole face, along with her bridesmaid face, is completely shut the fuck down. And I was like, oh my God, please don't say she likes one of them freaking ankle biter handbag dogs. Because I'm like, she She met Ryan. He sees himself as a freaking warrior. So his dog is going to match the essence that he believes he is. So she actually likes a dog that would be good for going out and hunting. For herself, she likes cocker spaniels and hunter dogs. And I just thought to myself, what is wrong with this woman for real? Jackie really needs to wind her motherfucking neck in right about now, as it's getting ridiculous. Like, seriously getting ridiculous. No one, and I mean no one, will match to what Jackie wants at all. And Ryan is just talking and talking and talking. Unbeknownst to him, he's putting his bride off more and more because he doesn't have the right dog for her liking right now. So that's another X in the freaking cons column. Jesus. So basically, she was talking about how owning a staffy is a red flag for her, and I thought she needs to just literally suck it up, because honestly, it's getting on my tits with her petty complaints at the end of the day. So we go back to Marina and Tony's wedding, and her children do make a speech. So Marina gets Tony to introduce her around to his family. So the first cousin gets in and opens his mouth to say, like, you know, well, I was his best man at his first wedding. I thought, what the fuck was that, dude? Even Tony had to look at him as if to say, what are you playing at? Like, what? Why would you tell us something like that? So the cousin thinks Tony would look more charismatic next to a younger woman. And I'm still thinking, but Stephen, don't you honestly see that your cousin Tony is happy with Marina? What does his cousin not get about that? So Stephen decides to take Tony out for a chat, and Tony says to Stephen, like, you know, that Marina is older than him, as she's 57, and then Stephen has the audacity to say, that's old. I thought, have you seen yourself, love? Like, really? Your cousin Tony is no spring chicken. And I think his values and his ideals have bloody changed along the way. He isn't going to have anything in common with a 38-year-old to a 42-year-old. It's not what he wants at the end of the day. His life experience have changed. His values in that have changed. And he wants someone that will be able to complement him. So he doesn't mind going for an older woman or someone in the same age bracket as himself. Hi. Tony didn't really pick up on the fact that his cousin Stephen seemed to be insulting to Marina, to be fair. Stephen keeps on going about Marina's age, and Tony does tell Stephen that, you know what, he is too hard on people. And I'm like, mate, he may be your flipping cousin, but Marina is your wife, so come on, he needs to be put in his place at the end of the day. So it was nice to see, though, as we get on from that discussion between Tony and Stephen, because I don't know if it fully settled, but Tony did let him know that he was happy where he was at with Marina at the end of the day. And it was good to see that Tony accepted Stefan, her adult son, who has his own level of needs, basically. So it was definitely a fun wedding. So then we go back to Jackie and Ryan's night. I thought at this point, there's nothing that is going to save this marriage, to be fair. Until Ryan gets up and starts his speech. I must say, at the first initial stages, it was awful. It was awful. Jackie was not feeling him at the end of the day, and her resting beach face was strong, let's just put it that way. Ryan was not doing himself any favours when he first did his speech. So he does then go on to speak about his own experiences in regards to bullying, and then out comes his intellect, basically. And this is what I said, Ryan can talk, yeah, and when he does, he sounds like a book, let's just put it that way. So now Jackie, from the shared experiences that Ryan raised, gives Jackie hope at the end of the day. And I thought the speech was just Ryan's CV for her to know where he's coming from at the end of the day. So it seemed from that speech, Ryan managed to pull that shit around like proper. So here comes the first dance. He turned around and he said to Jackie, hold on. He turned around and he says to Jackie, I'm going to dip you This man dipped her, slipped on her dress and fully head planted the girl into the floor. She was on her back on the floor and everybody went, whoa. So you see the producers afterwards come over and check on Jackie, and Ryan began to step into a little bit into his power, seeking for that bit to be edited out of the final cut. He says that he was thinking of Jackie, as he was sure it would not be great for her seeing him drop her. But then Ryan began spiraling, let's just put it that way, because he was just pissed that he had dropped Jackie, and he doesn't want that segment to go in because it doesn't show him in his full warrior self at the end of the day. It doesn't show him in his full protective mode, because it wasn't very protective that he ended up dropping his new wife on her head on the dance floor at the end of the day. So it was more so about Ryan's feelings in regards to wanting to take that little bit of the segment out, but we all know that was not going to come out. It was going to stay in, and I think Jackie knew that too, because Jackie was fine. Jackie was fine with it, but it was Ryan who was taking the piece. Anyway, that is where that episode ended. I'll be back in quick succession with the next episode. As I always say, my renegades, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so we know I'm doing videos. Please comment, like, share and do good things that you do, because I continue to be on the road to 1K. Peace out.